Yo, what's up guys? It's Jeff from Updated, and today we have the release of iOS 15 Developer Beta 5 available for install. So in today's video, we are going to go ahead and check out what's new in this new beta, what has been fixed from the last version, and also discuss future release dates for the remaining betas that we should see for iOS 15. Okay, so in beta 4 of iOS 15, we did see quite a few changes and also some focus on bug fixes as well, but unfortunately we were left with a few major bugs that were still affecting the iOS 15 experience. So one of the biggest bugs that myself and a ton of other users were experiencing was the optimized battery charging completely not working whatsoever. Now in, I believe, beta 1 and beta 2, I actually noticed an issue where the optimized battery charging would be kind of going crazy and leaving my phone at like 80% during the middle of the day. And just for the most part, didn't seem to have a very, I would say, consistent schedule to that optimized battery charging. So now we have kind of like the opposite problem where it's not working altogether, which ultimately hurts long-term battery life. So hopefully this is an issue that will be fixed in the next few betas. Now, as of right now, for the release of beta 5, it's still not fixed as of yet. So fingers crossed it is fixed soon, because that is a pretty big feature when it comes to battery life. Now, the next few issues are actually very minor, but sometimes AirPlay controls do not appear when you are playing music through Spotify. There are sometimes issues with volume matching when connecting via Bluetooth with, let's say, your car or maybe another Bluetooth device like a speaker, which actually tries to match your system volume to its own. So essentially with that scenario, what happens is the audio for me starts off very, very low. And then I click up maybe 3 times and the volume just jumps up immensely and is blaring loud. So obviously this is just a very small bug that needs to be fixed, but ultimately it's a big deal because it's just like a huge nuisance sometimes when music just automatically blares. Now, the last bug that I wanted to highlight is for those of you Tesla owners out there who use your phone as your primary Bluetooth key device. I personally have had some bad experiences using beta 4 where my phone key randomly disconnects and I can't actually access my car without restarting my phone completely. Now in beta 5, that issue seems to be sort of gone here, but if you do use your phone as a key for anything that requires Bluetooth, just be aware that these betas may affect that performance. So you definitely don't want to be out and about with a Bluetooth issue, specifically with your car, and you can't actually start your car because Bluetooth is not connecting properly or is having an issue due to a bug. So do carry a key around, or just use a physical key for whatever device, car, whatever you may have that uses that Bluetooth key, just in case. Okay, so with the bugs out of the way, let's move on to the performance aspect of going from beta 4 to the newest beta version here, beta 5. Now, when talking about the CPU and GPU, I have to say that over the past 5 betas, this is the most steady experience I've had with performance in like an initial beta kind of like project where we're going through the initial betas of a new version of iOS. The numbers are all really, really stable, and for the most part, I haven't experienced any performance issues whatsoever. And also when we benchmark, the numbers do turn out to be very similar in comparison, but when you actually use iOS 15 and go throughout the UI and certain processes, they are getting consistently faster with each beta, which actually is a very good sign. So when it comes to the performance of the UI, I can actually say that things are getting better and better, and that I am very much looking forward to how iOS 15 looks when it's fully released to the public later this year. Now, moving on to battery life, and that has been a very different story. Battery life has sort of been a little bit all over the place, but so far in the past 2 betas, it hasn't been as bad as before. I still get a solid day's worth of performance on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, but the battery health has dropped from 98% to 92% during my time of using the betas since beta 1. So that's actually the one major issue that I've had with long-term battery life. Now, if you're like me, where you replace your device every single year, that's not really that big of a deal. But if you are looking to hold on to your device for a very long time, then I do suggest maybe holding off on the iOS 15 betas until we can stop seeing that huge drain in battery health. That's not only affecting me, it's also affecting others as well. There's a ton of users on Twitter that reached out and said, hey, I'm having this issue as well. So it is something that you want to be aware of. Okay, let's go ahead and check out what's new here in iOS 15 Beta 5. And first we'll go over to General and we'll check the About screen here. And as you can see, we have a new build number. It's 19A5318F. And if we go a little bit farther down here, we do have new modem firmware that's 2.09.05. So very minimal updates there to the About screen, but we actually have a whole lot of new stuff going on within this update. So we'll go back out to the main screen here, the home screen, and as you can first see, we have a brand new weather icon. So this kind of reflects some of the changes that we saw within the actual weather app. From day one, we saw a new UI. And this sort of new theme on the outside here for the icon matches that theme on the inside. So as you can see here, new weather icon. And if we go into the app, that icon does match up very nicely to what we're seeing here, what's new in the weather app. Now, what's also really cool is we do have kind of like new splash screens here for different apps. So the first one was in Photos, and basically this just gives you a rundown of exactly what's new in the Photos app in iOS 15. And as you can see here, shared with you, that's a new feature. Memories, kind of like it's not really a new feature within the Photos app, but Memories has been kind of like tweaked to give you new features there. And then richer info, basically allowing more information about the photo being accessed through the Photos app. So you can just swipe up on a photo and basically get a lot of the camera details, location details, and all that. You can get that all from just swiping up on a photo. So what's new in Photos is kind of like a new splash screen you'll see with the Photos app. Now, for the podcast app, it's basically very minimal here, shared with you, like what podcast your friends have shared in messages with you. That's about it within the podcast app. So not too much going on here with this splash screen, but this is something that you'll see new here within Beta 5. Now, as for Apple TV, we do see some new features there. Apple TV channels, basically you pay for the channels that you want and share those up to within like 6 family members. So that's actually a new feature within Apple TV. And then Apple Originals, that's something that we've had forever with Apple TV, ever since Apple kind of launched their Apple TV program or Apple TV Plus program. So that's something that has been around for just a little bit. They're basically just advertising kind of like that feature within the Apple TV app, that's separate from other features you obviously have and other channels you can get through your Apple TV device. Now, what's new in Home? Actually, this is really cool. So we have home keys, so you can tap to unlock the front door with your iPhone or Apple Watch. That is actually something new that we have here within the Home app. Siri-enabled accessories, that is something that we've had for quite some time, but we have a new icon for Siri, and that has actually been tweaked here in the Home app to work just a whole lot better. And then HomeKit Secure Video. So basically with iCloud Plus, that feature that was kind of announced and displayed at WWDC 2021. Home screen or the HomeKit secure video service will announce like when packages arrive or people and everything like that. So through iCloud Plus and kind of connecting that with the Home app, that is going to give you a lot more functionality with the cameras that you have set up that are HomeKit enabled. Now, also in the Calendar app is working a lot more intelligently. There's not too much going on that's new UI-wise with the Calendar app, but found events, basically Siri is a lot smarter in finding events that it can create for you. Time to leave, that's something that through the Maps app is getting a lot better, and that coordinates with the Calendar app. And then location suggestions, that is actually a lot smarter and something I really have learned to appreciate in the Calendar app already using iOS 15, because all of the locations that I want to type in come up immediately and even preemptively when it finds it through the Messages app. So that's a really cool, handy new feature here in the Calendar app. Now for stocks, we have an all new design, business news, iPhone, iPad, and Mac. These are all the same. I don't know why there's a new splash screen for the stocks app. Everything looks pretty much exactly the same, but I will say that the stocks app is working a little bit faster in loading news specifically. So if you want to correlate the news with a specific stock, that is actually working a lot better here in the iOS 15 betas. Now, as far as what's new in the Maps app, there are some new features that we did discover here in beta 6, but a brief rundown of what's going on here. We have an interactive guide, so that actually kind of like interacts with the location around you, and obviously they're kind of previewing what you can do as far as like the globe view, where you can kind of go all the way out and look at the globe view. The all new city experience, you can actually get an AR-like experience with specific cities, and that is going to be worked on until the end of the year and beyond. And we already have cities like Atlanta, I believe, that have this experience there. So that's a really cool experience. And then immersive walking directions, that goes along with that experience. So you can actually get AR experiences and AR directions all within the Maps app now, which is actually really, really cool. And again, they're going to be working on this continuously as iOS 15 progresses. So I think like with iOS 15.1 or 15.2, we should see this feature almost full on for cities like Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, San Francisco. They're going to keep on working on this, and hopefully it comes to the smaller cities as well. Now, let's go into settings and see what's new specifically with the live text. And now you can actually turn live text off. So if we go into settings, then general, and then we go down to language and region, you can actually have the option to turn live text off. Now, something that a lot of people didn't like is basically you would have live text showing up in your images, and you'd have to take action on that, or you could, and it was just getting in the way. Now you can actually turn that feature off system-wide. I don't know why you would want to, but that option is there should you not want to have that live text available to you. Now, if we go into the control center, we actually have new options here that have not really new options, but they have like new icons, so they look a little bit different. Announce notifications, we'll go ahead and add that to our control center. And then sound recognition, that is also something that got a new icon, so it looks a little bit different. And you can see here, they're my last two icons there. So this is the announce notifications icon. That is something that looks new. And then the sound recognition, if I had that on, it would go to that specific, like it would turn on or off, but I don't have it on to begin with. So it just kind of goes to that menu within the settings app. But that is the two new icons that have been added to the control center, and hopefully the rest are revamped as well. Just a reminder, the Notes app did get a new icon within the control center, so Apple is continuously working on this. And we also saw updates to like the new in AirPlay, we saw like new devices, those icons got revamped, and then also the new Apple TV remote as well. Now, when we go to power off our device, if you have Find My iPhone when your iPhone is turned off, when that feature is on, it will actually show below the slide to power off kind of slider here, iPhone findable after power off. So it just kind of like lets you know that your iPhone, even if you turn your iPhone off, it will still be findable within Find My iPhone or Find My. And if you click on that, that will just give you a brief rundown of exactly what's going on with the iPhone, basically being findable after your phone is turned off. So that's a really cool kind of like indication there that even if you turn your phone off and maybe you're low on power, you can still find your phone should you lose it when that phone is turned off. So that's something a little bit new within that power off screen, but nothing major going on within that screen. Now, getting back to the Maps app, if you go to the top right-hand corner here, you can see that the icon up here changes with each map that you select. Sorry about that. So Explore, Driving, if I go to Driving, you'll see that a car shows up there, and Transit, you'll see that a little train shows up there. But now, when you go to Satellite, there's a nice new looking globe view there that looks really nice. So as far as like other Maps app features, nothing has really changed, but these icons do change according to what map you're using, and it just gives you a preview of what map you're using there. And that has now been kind of, all of these have been updated. The preview section here, and then also the icons at the top, and also that live location button as well has been revamped here within the Maps app. So the Maps app almost looks fully baked here for iOS 15. So don't expect too many changes going on in the near future, but Apple continuously makes these small ones as we go on throughout the betas. Now, if you go into the Reminders app, there was a kind of like indication here of when you can change like all the icons and everything like that. This has been revamped just a little bit. It does not look too different, but things just look slightly different here. There's a little bit glow to the icon here, and of course you can select to your options all around the icons here. You can select from these options and also the colors as well. So I'm just going to create one here and then convert to smart list. So convert to smart list. Yep, it can't be my default. So I'm going to go here and create a new list and just name that H and change the color there, change the icon to the home, and then we'll go down to change this to a smart list. And we're going to go ahead and convert that to a smart list. So that's a kind of a new feature within iOS 15 that really Apple didn't go ahead and preview at all, really, at WWDC. But Smart List is a new feature, and sometimes when you go into the Reminders app, it does kind of indicate to you what a Smart List is. And just wanted to let you guys know that you do have that option of converting it to a Smart List at the very bottom, and then also manage Smart List. Basically, when you put a hashtag H or the hashtag of your list, you can have it automatically add to that list, and you have all of these basically features within the smart list. When you manage it, you have all of those available in this menu option in your smart list. So just a little bit of kind of like new things going on within the Reminders app. Nothing major, but you can definitely switch things up within the Reminders app to make your workflow a little bit more progressive and a little bit more able to tweak to your personal workflow. Okay, so that's what was new in Beta 5. So let's move on to future release schedules. Now, we are on to Beta 5 and are dealing with more smaller changes and more consistent release schedules for the betas. So we will be expecting a beta per week, but at the most 2 weeks. Now, if you take a look at the history of beta releases, typically around this time, we see weekly updates because Apple is trying to figure out smaller bugs. They don't include as many new features, and the changes are kept to kind of like a minimum when it comes to major UI overhauls. So with that said, do expect kind of like weekly or at the most bi-weekly releases, but just be aware that we won't be seeing a consistent slew of new features as we have for the first 3 to 4 beta releases, as Apple is working more towards sewing things up for a final release. Now, if they are to add any major new features, do expect those to be coming in a release of iOS 15.1 versus the next few betas, because they, again, just want to get sure, or kind of like make sure that everything's solid for a final release. So guys, that was iOS 15 Beta 5 and all of what you need to know about this release. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comment section down below. Or if you have any further information you want to add, like any new features that you noticed or anything like that, you can mention those down there in the comment section as well. Now, if any of you wanted to hop onto the developer betas or the public betas, there's a link in the video description down below with more information on how to access both of those. That link is solo.to/updated. And of course, if you need any help with that process, you can always reach out in the comment section or on Twitter as well. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video on the updated YouTube channel. Before you head out, make sure to get subscribed and also hit that notification bell button to stay up to date for when we publish any new content here on the channel. Also, if you want to check out some other things that we have going on, check the channel information link down below. It's solo.to/updated. You can check out our channel memberships, our merch store, my personal Twitter account, which you should totally follow, and a link to the updated podcast where we have new episodes every single week. That podcast is called The Infinite Loop, and we talk about everything going on in the world of tech. Also, we have links to our giveaways sponsored by awesome companies like Bravado VPN, so definitely check those out as well. We'll have a new one every single month. So guys, thank you again for watching today's video, and we hope to see you guys in some upcoming content. But until then, I hope you all have an awesome day.